From the beginning, we were wrong, and only now, well into the second decade of the conflict, have we begun to understand the mistakes we have made. We lived in harmony among the Fae, in a world awakened to new magic. Perhaps we should have foreseen what might be born on this rising tide. What force might awaken. A force powerful enough to twist even the eternal and immutable Fae folk. But Gadflow, the new king of the Winter Court, surprised us all. Singular among his people, he was all that other Fae were not. Aggressive, ambitious, visionary. He had power like none we had ever seen, terrible and deadly. Gadflow and his followers, the Tuatha Deon, believed that a new god was to be born in the east, beneath Gadflow's crystalline fortress of Amathen. In the name of that god, they marched to war against the young races of Amalur. Against a mortal army, no matter the power of their god, we might have been victorious. But the Fae are creatures of magic, not bound by the laws of life and death. Each Tuatha fallen on the battlefield would soon rise again, for the Fae do not know death as we do. How could we stand against such a force? For 10 years the war raged. For 10 years the armies of Men and Alpha fought and died. But as our numbers dwindled, we knew that it was only a matter of time. Our fate had been written. At least, that is what we believed. Until you died.
What do you think this one is, Dan? Alpha? Doran? Could even be a Jotun. Always a surprise, eh, Garan?
Eyes on the job, boy. Don't matter what it is. Dead's dead. And be thankful for that. All we've seen. Go on and pull back the sheet, though. It'll need to be in our report, one way or the other.
Hey, Crazy Dory 12 here, coming at you with a new playthrough of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. I'm still up in there if that's how you actually say that. Amalur. I'm not sure if the L is silent or whatever. But this isn't, I mean, I've played this game before, but I didn't really play it that much. So I'm still going to I might as well just call it a blind playthrough. So here we're picking our classes. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to play. I know there's like warrior and mages and different ones. I think I'm probably gonna go with a mage. Well, this is races. It's not really. And looks like I'll probably go with the mana pool. I was never too concerned with looks and stuff like that in games like Skyrim and so forth, but I am going to take the jewelry off.
Low so far. A long way from Icebrine too. Still, he's in better shape than most we see. Alright then, make sure it goes into the report. You know he'll want all the details.
Amazing how well the body held up. Better than I've seen.
I'm just glad it's not moving. Must have been born under a lucky star, this one.
Anything else we need?
Unless you'd like to name him, I think we're done. Put him with the others.
Well, that's it for you then. Better luck next time.
That would be a pretty fucked up way to start your day. I always turn subtitles on. That's just, I need to have subtitles. And it's probably good for you guys too, because then if you can't hear, you can read along at least. So from what I can remember, I played maybe this game for about an hour, and it's a pretty just generic. It's like a hack and slash, but from what I understand, the thing is I only got an hour in, so from what I understand, the combat system actually gets pretty like integrated and complicated. Well, not really complicated, but it's just fresh. There's a lot of new things. You have all these power ups, and you have a skill tree. But I didn't really get far enough, and actually, it's part of the reason what always happens is it's Battlefield. I always get sucked back into Battlefield 3, and then I put games aside, and then I haven't played them in like 3 or 4 days, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna send them back to GameFly. That's why when there's a game that comes out, I know I really want to play and beat. I just buy them, because then that problem doesn't really happen. I don't really like holding on to GameFly games too long. But any game that has a numbers pop up as you hit and health bar and like skill tree. I mean, that's why Borderlands is one of my favorite games, because it's a first-person shooter, but at the same time you get all those RPG elements, which you don't really get usually in a shooter or a straightforward shooter. And there's always looting system. This game has a looting system, so it's the same thing.
Help! Anybody!
I put the game on hard. I think from what I understand, that's the way to go, because this game's pretty easy. So that could have been part of the reason too why I didn't like playing it. And maybe it was a little too easy or something like that. Dog. And hopefully what I'm going to try to do is build this character as a mage. I thought you start out like picking your character, but I guess that's not the case.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. If you hadn't come along...
Oh, this game reminds me of Dragon Age too. I remember from when I played. It's not really the gameplay or anything like that. It's Dragon Age. It's totally different. but it's just, I don't know, the lure of the game and all that. It feels the same. I mean, you can compare him to Skyrim and any like medieval game, but it's just, I don't know, something about maybe just because it's third person. That's why it feels like Dragon Age. I mean, then you got this guy too. He reminds me of oh, I can't remember the character's name, but they're from Dragon Age.
Soul to your body, and it worked. We must get you to Professor Hughes right away. He'll have questions for you. Oh my, you don't know?
And then it also has this, which is like, well, I mean, Skyrim has that too, and so does Dragon Age. But anything where you can kind of pick your dialogue. But of course, there's that controversy where people say they ruined it in Mass Effect 3, where it was like, oh, you kind of knew what, left or right, which one was going to be bad or good, and it wasn't really open to what you had to say.
Professor Formerus Hughes, the Well of Soul, the Tuatha. Take these. They'll help keep you safe long enough. He'll be in his study on the ground.
All right.
This door, and we can be on our way.
Give me potions.
Right this way.
Yes. Oops. I must have automatically put them on. Nope. Oh, I'm like pressing X twice. I'm thinking X to select and X to equip. So it automatically equips it.
Our greatest invention, the Well of Souls. Imagine an end to all, an end to death.
It's no good.
We're in one of the stores. See if you can find anything useful.
Okay, I like how there was like 8 weapons there, but only there was only 1 shield.
Wait, do you hear something? Lord Tuatha!
The god seeks your sacrifice.
Shit.
You're going to need more than just that sword. That one had a bow. Get it?